then what brought you into the whiskey world from your background as a fruit distiller?
Total accident.
Yeah.
My wife and I were stuck in a fishing lodge in Western Ireland in August, and of course it rains a lot in August, and we were it was too wet to hike, and there weren't any fish. It was a very pretty little lodge with a wonderful wine cellar, a very good kitchen, and a terrific collection of weird, oddball, at least to me at the time, oddball Scotch whiskeys. So we actually, mostly me, I ate and drank for several days and worked my way through their whiskey collection, which was superb, and really got very interested in the peaty single malts.
Just right off the bat.
Yeah, I thought they were very interesting. Lagavulin 16-year-old was quite a find for me. Yeah. I loved the peaty ones, and so I thought, well, let's go home and make some of that. And I priced out what a little brewery would cost.
Here?
Yeah. What it would cost me to set up a little brewery and make my own wash. And it really wouldn't have been a very smart business decision because we weren't doing that much. And so I went around to some of my microbrewer friends. This was in 90, 91. 92 maybe. And it was a little odd, actually. A lot of these struggling small Oregon microbrew guys weren't interested. And I felt like saying, geez, don't you guys need a little extra business or something? You know, if I contract with you to make me bulk whiskey wash, I can't do it, you can. And the only one who really picked up on it was Kurt Widmer from Widmer Brothers, which at that point was still a relatively small brewery. They've done extremely well. And so he's still, this is what, almost 20 years later. And Kurt's still doing all of our wash for us, and in substantial amounts now. So we buy this beautiful beer, sort of slightly thick, unhopped, unfiltered, unfinished beer.
So did the tanker truck that over here, or is that? Yeah.
We're getting 30,000 gallons of it from them this year.
And you're getting your peated barley from Scotland?
Right.
And what malting house do you use over there?
Well, we use a couple of different ones, and if you know the world of small, high-quality West Side malting houses, you could probably figure out who they are, but we don't.
You don't say.
We don't tell everything. And then we distill here with these wonderful Eau De Vie stills, which are incredibly versatile. We make grappa, we make whiskey, we make traditional pot-stilled brandy, like a Armagnac cognac thing, but it's not the same at all.
Okay. When the grain comes over from Scotland, does it come over in full grain and then you grind it here, or it just comes over as grist?
It's grain or malt. Yeah. They do Widmer does all of that. And then we bring the whiskey, the white raw whiskey in here, and actually we're doing a blend today for bottling. Let's see what's in here. But these are very good quality Limousin quarter casks.
So that's French oak, right?
Yeah, very good French oak, cognac oak. These are quarter casks of Oregon white oak.
Oh.
And the whiskey is increasingly aged in Oregon white oak, of which these are brand new barrels, where the blend is going to go.
Okay. So you were originally aging in ex-bourbon casks? Or?
No, never bourbon. And I didn't want to pick up any of that to muddy up my Oregon single malt.
So it was always a virgin cask of some...
No, they were, well, we start out in old sherry barrels.
Oh.
And then I ran out of good quality, real sherry butts, 500-liter
Yeah.
barrels, and ran out of those and couldn't get any more. So we shifted to very old, fairly neutral Limousin oak, and then began to develop our inventory of Oregon white oak. Now, this is 100 proof, and this is a trial. This is what we'll be deciding whether to put this in the new blend or whether to leave it in wood longer.
So when it comes off the still, how strong is it?
145, something like that. It bounces around a little bit.
Really nice sweetness to it, but you say no sherry in this at all?
No, this is way after the sherry. But what's happened? This one will definitely make the cut. I like this. As we develop our inventory of Oregon white oak barrels, we have, since we buy that barrel new. The cognac oak barrels that we use for the apple, we buy them by the container used from cognac. So we have to break these things in, because we wouldn't think of putting brand new raw spirit in brand new oak and leaving it for 3 years. It would be way over oaked. And it was awkward at first. We'd have to transfer it out. I'd say this is getting too oaky, and we put it in.
And you're talking about the brandy or the whiskey?
Whiskey.
Yeah.
I'd say it's getting too oaky. We need to put it in more neutral cognac oak. So we would rummage through these barrels, and this series here, I bought about 87 or 88. So they've been used constantly. So we have a choice of good, older, neutral oak if we run out of room. But now, the whole point of this is now we've got quite a few of these Quercus Garryana Oregon oak that are neutral enough that we can put brand new white raw whiskey in these barrels. Put maybe the last year, we'll move it to newer oak and see how we like color and oaky qualities and all
as far
that.
as the, I know French oak gives kind of a spicy flavor. What about the Oregon oak? What is it? How do you compare it to French oak?
It's totally different.
Now, what do you pick up when you? What are you looking for when you nose the?
Well, I still want some peat, and that's the one thing that worries me about this stuff is it's not as peaty as it does. Maybe I'm so used to it I don't pick it up, but I'm not getting a whole lot of peat. I like. This is pretty good. This is a good barrel.
And are you, when you are ordering your grain, is it at what peating level are you shooting for when you do that?
30 plus.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've been getting it actually. We're making conversation with our suppliers about that.
Yeah.
This is good.
You like it?
Yeah, this is barrel 7.
Yeah.
Let's use it.
So
Now see, I get a little bit of peat on this.
yeah, I get some peat.
The first few years we had this whiskey, it was very peaty, and I sort of was trying to make a point, and I backed down a little, and I think it's a better whiskey, but I worry that we backed away too far, because I really like the peat qualities.
Yeah, I thought I had noticed over the years too that the peat seemed lower to me also, but
Yeah.
it's still very good. I mean, excellent whiskey.
20 barrels, we'll make 4 batches a year, so we'll make 80 to 100 barrels of whiskey every year.
Yeah.
It's pretty small production, but we're creeping up as fast as we can.
A batch of McCarthy's, do you ever, I mean, is it all 3-year-olds or there's some older whiskey in there or?
It's
Is that
all
a
three,
trade secret,
no, it's been a non-decision. When it hits 3 years in 1 week, we bottle everything we can and sell it.
Oh, I see.
Because the demand is
So
just
high, yeah.
crazy. And, you know, I had a Japanese trading guy in here about 6 months ago from one of the big, well-known Japanese trading companies, and he wanted all that we had for that year. And I said, you know, I'm sorry, we can't do that. I have distributors around the world that I've done business with, and they are asking politely for, you know, it's the only product I make where people order by the pallet. They say, I want 2 pallets of it. The Chinese, we are actually starting conversations with the Chinese. We have well advanced conversations with the Japanese, and in fact there's an order which we're now holding off on to see what they want to do. Good business in Europe. The French love American whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
You can't believe the retailers around this country, the best retailers in America, want me to save them a bottle for a couple of years and do a private bottling, and they'll pay anything for it. But we have this.
Now, is that what those quarter casks are? Or, I mean.
No, actually, those are individuals a few years ago who bought, personal friends who bought a barrel.
I see.
And it seemed like a good idea at the time. I wish right now I had it to bottle and sell. It's theirs, they own it.
Yeah.
And it's tax paid, so they can just walk in here any day and haul it away. But it's lovely stuff. Well, Daniel's making the heads cut. This is the first fractions, which are volatile and pretty nasty. But there's an abrupt change from nasty to really quite nice. Assuming we ever get there.
It's almost there.
It's not about how do the heads run.
We should be there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Could I nose the what you're distilling?
I'll do it over here.
There you go. Just to nose it.
This one's about ready too. I think it's better if you start with the nasty stuff because we're probably pretty close. But
You said this is pear.
apple.
Apple. It's very fragrant.
Daniel, how much have these been running in terms of volume?
16 to 1800.
Okay. Are we there?
Yeah. So mostly by nose, but also specific gravity, or?
Yeah, specific gravity volume. We want to track it. If it changes, we're after the good quality. But if the good quality suddenly appears at some other parameter, we want to know what's going on. There may be an adjustment that's wrong or some other anomaly, and this is fairly expensive stuff to make, so we want to, if we have an abrupt drop in yield, for example, we want to figure out what the hell's going on. Usually turns out to be some issue in the settings. This is Eau De Vie and pear, ready to be bottled. Most of the barrel products, well, let's see, the Oregon pot still brandy, which is our version of Armagnac or whatever, and the whiskey are not chill filtered. The apple brandy still is because it's very unreliable where it clouds up. We think, I look back at the last 26 years and I think, well, you know, when I started selling this stuff, there was nothing like it in North America. And you'd go into a very good liquor store in New York or Los Angeles, nothing. A little French stuff, but not much. A good store would have a couple of, now this is really, really good stores in New York, like say Park Avenue Liquor or Astor Wine and Spirits. They had all kinds of strange European Eau De Vie from God knows when. So they knew this stuff, but a lot of very good mainstream wine and spirit stores with great wine programs just didn't bother. So what we've done is to build a very nice market for high quality, more or less handmade Eau De Vie. And that's kept me pretty busy.